Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be chatting all about jeans. This is going to be a very comprehensive video. I went through my wardrobe and pulled out my most worn jeans, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I love them, how they fit, different shoes to wear with different jean styles, and the different styles that I would recommend for a very classic wardrobe. So if you are struggling with jeans in your wardrobe, this video will definitely help you out. Before we jump into today's jean styling video, this video is going up right before Thanksgiving, so I just wanted to go ahead and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. If you are shopping this weekend looking for the best Cyber Week deals, I will link to a blog post below where I have all of my personal favorite deals and recommendations, and you can quickly browse that down below. I'll also have all of today's jean styles as well as outfits linked in the description as well. So let's jump in to today's jean styling video. So first, I just wanted to quickly reference how to store jeans. My personal favorite way to store them in my wardrobe is with a pant hanger like this. The reason I prefer to hang them like this is because I can easily see the style, I can see the wash, I can see the ankle all at once. When I had my jeans folded in years past, I just either reached for only the same exact pair, or honestly, I didn't reach for jeans. The downside is it does require a longer hanging space, but if you do have the room, this is definitely the best way to go about storing your jeans. If you don't have room to do them like the full length like this, I would just drape them over the hanger. That way you can still quickly look at the bottom of the jeans so you can quickly reference the style that you're trying to pull. So the first jean style I wanted to talk about is what I would consider the most classic shape and style. This pair from Madewell I have had for a couple years, so I'm not sure if the exact wash is available, but I know this jean style is. This is from Madewell, and it's, I believe, just the perfect vintage jean. This jean is a very classic style because it's more of a slim straight, so it's not a skinny, it's not a looser fitting straight leg jean. It still has a little bit of tapering through the leg. It doesn't have any distressing, and I would say it's a very classic wash. This is a medium wash. I would argue that a light wash jean is a little more trendy and a dark wash jean is a little dressier, so that's kind of how I gauge what type of wash I want to go for when it comes to picking out the wash in my wardrobe. The reason I love this jean is it has that classic denim feel, but there's still a little bit of stretch in these. I believe it's 2% elastic or elastane, and that makes them comfortable to sit in. That is one reason I majorly struggle with jeans, is if they look great standing up, that probably means they don't feel good sitting down, and vice versa. If they are comfortable sitting down, then they just look way too big when I'm standing up. But if you have a little bit of stretch in your jeans, not too much to where it looks like a legging, then I think you can have the best of both worlds. You can have a jean that fits closely and is still comfortable to sit in. Now, the one thing to watch out for is you don't want too much stretch in your jeans, because that is what is going to make them stretch out and look frumpy the longer that you wear them. Whenever you're trying on a jean, whether you order it online or if you're trying it on in store, I would recommend to try to keep it on for at least 10 minutes and kind of move around, sit down in them, just kind of walk around in them and see how they wear. If they're gonna stretch out a lot within that 10-minute time frame, that tells you that you either need to get the next size down or they're just gonna stretch out and not be a great fit as is. So whenever you're trying on jeans, I wouldn't just slip them on and be like, oh, these fit great. So here are a few outfits styling this jean. I will also recommend going to the LTK app. I've had these jeans for quite some time, a couple of years now. So if you go in the app and search Madewell Jeans or Perfect Vintage Jean, it's gonna pull up any outfits that I have posted in there over the years, so you can get a good idea of other ways to wear them. Here is how the Perfect Vintage Jeans from Madewell fits, and I would recommend to size down in these, especially if you're in between two sizes. I got a 27. After wear, I felt like they were gonna stretch out a little bit, and these do give a little bit, especially in the waist and a little bit in the upper thigh area, but overall, they still keep their shape very well, have a really great pocket placement, and with the slim straight, I wear these jeans casually most often, so I don't think I've ever really worn them with heels. I personally don't wear them a lot with booties either. I do think depending on the booty it can work, so I styled it here with these lug boots. These have a thinner shaft, so it works, but I don't think all boots will work with these jeans. The reason I do think these work is because they are more of an ankle length on me. I'm 5'5" for height reference, and they don't come down over top of the boot too much, but they also don't show any leg in between. They will, like if you're walking around, occasionally grab on the boot, and I think that's, you know, not a big deal because you're wearing these super casually as is. I paired it with this quilted jacket from Target, and then to balance it out, since this hits below the hips, I wanted to do a shorter top. So I would either tuck the top in, this one's just cropped on its own, but I think that really helps to balance out the heavier looking boot on the bottom, especially with these jeans. If I was to style these jeans with a heel, I would go for a lower, like sling back kitten heel. I feel like it looks very classy. These are actually a look for less on Amazon. I've shared these a couple months ago, and they come in a couple colors. They have a very similar style to the Dior slingbacks, very comfortable. I would say they fit a little wider, so if you have a super narrow foot, they may or may not work for you. And I would suggest to size down a half size if you are in between, because you cannot adjust the strap. I paired it with this very classic tunic. It has this little pearl button detail. I've had this for a few years, so I'm not sure if it's still available, but a lot of times I find myself wearing these jeans with a classic white button down, just because I feel like these jeans just have that classic look to them, and that's what I'm more drawn to when I wear them. I would say this is probably my most reached for fall outfit. Whenever I just don't want to even think about it, this is what I tend to just grab for. So I love cashmere sweaters. I love them from J. Crew. I have the cropped and the Crew classic. I also really like the ones from Quince as well, which I'm sure you can find both on sale this week. I like the more cropped fit on me since I have a really short torso. I don't want anything to billow over too much because that's gonna make you look bigger than you actually are. So I do like the cashmere sweaters to fit a little bit closer on top. And then I also most of the time find myself reaching for flats when it comes to this ankle length. I just think it's so classic with that slim straight. And the style also works really well with a lower profile sneaker. These are my personal favorite. I like it to show a little bit of skin in between. This is probably the only time I like that because I feel like it looks way too frumpy if your jeans go all the way down to the ankles, especially if they puddle. I know that is more trendy right now, but I just don't love the look on me. The next jean, this is probably my most worn personal favorite in my wardrobe. I own these jeans in 3 washes. I have a darker wash, I have this more medium wash, and then I also have the white wash. And I would say out of all my jeans, the white is definitely my personal favorite. I get a lot of wear out of these, but I do know that some people are scared of white jeans. Personally, when it comes to things in my wardrobe, I try not to have a fear associated with using things. That goes for my fancy designer bags or like brand new suede shoes or even white jeans. Like I just wear them. I know things can happen. If something does get on them, I'll try to take some shout to them, which I have taken shout to these. They actually have some marks on them that I need to get out, but you can't even see, like, unless you're truly looking super close. So this style is the Mother Hustler jeans, and I think the main reason that I love this style is because they are so flattering. They fit my hips really well. They also fit my waist really well. They're comfortable to sit in. I could wear these working from home. I also do really like a cropped, slightly flare hemline. I find them really versatile when it comes to different shoes. So I can wear these with closer fit ankle boots. When it comes to a flare like this, I do think that having a slim booty is the most flattering. I wouldn't recommend like any ankle booties that are gonna show any skin in between. I think that's a more outdated way to style these jeans. They also look great with flats. You could do pointed toe, round toe. And if you do want to dress them up, you can do a heel. Now, this style does have some distressing on the bottom, so I find them to wear more casually overall. One thing I also want to mention about these, because they do have that raw hemline, meaning they're not stitched at the bottom, they will fray more and more over time. Now, I have had the white pair for going on 3 years, and after I wash them, which when it comes to denim, I know I'm throwing a lot of things at you, but When it comes to jeans, you don't want to wash them after every single wear. That's just going to wear down the denim quicker. So I will wear mine a few times before I end up washing it. And then when it comes to washing them overall, you don't want to use super high heat. So if you are going to throw them in the dryer, I would wash them on low. Sometimes I do air dry them, but I find that the denim gets a little stiff when I air dry them. So if I do air dry them, I still end up tossing them in the dryer just on low for a couple minutes just to kind of work that out. I think that actually means that you may use too much soap, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, or if you have any tips on avoiding that. But that's just always been my personal experience with air drying jeans. But I'm actually not the biggest fan of a lot of fraying on the bottom. So what I do is I just snip all of this. I haven't worn these since washing them, so I need to give them a clean up. But I just snip that away so there's not a ton of fraying at the bottom. Another tip I wanted to mention, when it comes to sizing on jeans, it can vary so much by brand. I can be a 27 or a 28 in most brands. So in this pair, I have a 27, but in this pair, I have a 28. They're the exact same jean. However, when it comes to white jeans, if you're in between, I always recommend to size up. I think it's a more flattering fit. The tighter they are, just the more see-through they can be. I just find it a little more flattering to go up a size if you are in between. Okay, here is the Mother Hustler denim. I'm wearing a size 27. These, in comparison to the Madewell, feel a little bit lighter. It's a thinner, stretchier material compared to the Madewell. I'm wearing a 27 in these. I wear a 28 in the white. A couple things about sizing. They do have stretch, but if you find that the zipper is separating, that means you need to go up the next size because they are stretchy and a little bit thinner. I do find that if you don't get the right fit, it can show the zipper a little bit. You can kind of pull that material over, and mine generally stays. They hit me right at my belly button with my shorter torso, and then the pocket placement is also really nice. I just feel like these have a really flattering fit on the back side, and I would style them with the exact same jean rules as the last pair for the slim straight. Again, I tend to wear these more casually, so I also wear a little bit more casual footwear with them. Here is another casual outfit. This time I switched it out for loafers, which I feel like can be interchanged with ballet flats just depending on your personal style. And I switched it out for this barn jacket, and then underneath I have on a crew neck sweater, like cashmere sweater from Quince, which I'm actually very impressed with the quality of them for the price point. I need to order, actually I'll do that this week when they're having a Black Friday sale. Need to order some other things to try because that has been one of the most asked reviews to do on my channel. But I got a medium in it. I sized up to have a little bit more of a relaxed fit. I also sized up in this barn jacket as well because I didn't want it to look like a shirt. I wanted it to look like an oversized, like casual jacket. Here's a better look at the sweater, and a lot of times I do try to tuck or give my waist some more definition. This one I actually just kind of left doing as it wanted to, but something I do all the time, and I haven't really realized this, is I always like to roll and kind of tuck up the back of my shirt just because I don't ever like something, especially if it's hitting right at the hips, I don't like it to go straight across my butt right here. I'd rather kind of angle it up to sort of lift my booty. I don't know if that's why I do it, but I just always find that if I actually kind of tuck the back of my shirt in versus the front, I feel like it's more flattering all the way around. Let me know if you also do that. I feel like it's maybe semi-weird, but it's something that I have always done, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it here. This is the exact same style. It's a Mother Hustler in the white, and these are by far my most worn, especially spring and early summer. I definitely don't wear jeans in the middle of summer here in Atlanta because it is way too hot and humid. But so springtime is definitely the time where I reach for this pair the most, but I do actually wear them after Labor Day during the fall season. I love like a chic, light and airy monochromatic look. I think the trick with that is getting the textures right, and I just think keeping it light all the way around looks the best. Like I wouldn't want to wear these with black shoes or anything just because I feel like that takes away from the elegance of it personally. So I styled it here with a very light tan booty, and I really like to play into like the tans and the creams. So underneath I have on like a turtleneck sweater. It actually is sleeveless, and then a little buttoned sweater over top. But I just wanted to style these with a bootie so that you could see. I do think it works well with a boot. Again, I would keep it more of a slim fit through the ankle so it's not too chunky down there. And I do like to where it comes up taller so there's no skin showing in between. The next jean style I wanted to talk about is a flared jean. Now the other jean I would consider more classic in this category would be a bootcut jean. I think both can be styled somewhat similarly. The difference though to me personally is I think bootcut jeans can look better with flats if you get them in the appropriate hem length. So if I was buying bootcut jeans and I wanted to wear them with flats, I'm 5'5" for height reference, I would actually buy a petite length. That way they wouldn't drag on the floor. When it comes to flares though, since they have a wider opening at the bottom, I think they look best styled with a heel or a heeled bootie because that is where the magic is of giving you so much more length when it comes to elongating your legs. My favorite flared jean style is from Spanx. They have a few different washes. They have updated the style now. I think they have a button, whereas mine are a couple years old and they're just flat along the waistline. But this style from Spanx is easily my most flattering jean in my wardrobe, and they're my go-to for date nights, girls nights, or just nights out when I don't want to get too dressed up but want to feel a little more put together. And I also think that's due to the darker wash of these as well. Now let's get into my favorite pair of jeans from Spanx. I will go ahead and give you a heads up. Their Black Friday sale this year is so good. I'm going to be posting about it over on Instagram this weekend, but it is definitely the best price that you will find all year long. My code is only 15% off year round. You can't stack that code, but there is going to be an extra code for an extra 10% off. And they're also going to be doing like flash sales, like 24 hours only. So definitely keep your eye out on Friday for the Spanx sale. This, I just got in this new wash. This, I believe, is the Raw Indigo. It's the darker wash of the two of their styles. I'll have to double check and I'll put it in the description box. So I'm wearing a small in these. I will say I had to do a major shimmy into these jeans. Like we were doing all kinds of witchcraft, but now that I have them on, I would say they fit perfectly. So if you get your pair in and you find that you have to wiggle into them, I would say that's kind of how they're supposed to fit, because now they fit perfectly at the waist and they're not too tight and restrictive. Like I don't feel uncomfortable in this size whatsoever, and I feel like it just gives you such a pretty shape. Almost makes me look more hourglass with how they've done the thickness through here. They added a button to this pair. I don't think all of the washes have the button. I actually have a lighter wash I can throw on, and that one does not have the button. Just an FYI, the front pockets are not functional, but the back pockets are. These are going to be your go-to jeans for date nights, girls' night out, nicer like events where you don't want to be fully dressed up. Like these are just such a good looking pair of jeans. I paired mine with a black bootie and they just make you look so much, like they just make your legs look so much longer. And out of all of my jeans, they definitely slim my legs the most in comparison now that I've been trying on all these styles. So let me style this up a little bit. I just kept it basic so you could see the jean. I threw over this faux fur vest. This entire look has been a go-to of mine. I wore it a lot last year for date nights and things like that. I love the coloring in this vest. I'm wearing a small. It's a little bit roomier, so if you're in between, I would size down. Underneath I have on a chocolate turtleneck. I'll link to a similar one. I've had mine for a couple of years. These pants do have the belt loops if you do want to add a belt. I most of the time honestly don't wear a belt with my jeans though. It kind of depends on where they fall on my waist, because sometimes I think it can add some bulk on your hips. So I do think these come up high enough to flatter like a more narrow part of your waist. Okay, here is the lighter wash in the same jean. These do not have the button, which I find interesting. They also had a little bit more, like just a little bit more stretch to them, so I found them easier to get on. I didn't have to do as hardcore of a shimmy as I did on the dark wash, and I've actually found that to be the case before with a lot darker wash jeans. They just don't have as much stretch. So if you're in between and you want the darker wash, you may want to size up. These I'm wearing the same size, the small. I just found them easier to get on. I don't think I mentioned, you probably couldn't see as well either in the darker wash, but the pocket placement is perfect. Again, the belt loops all the way around, same detail with the pocket. I styled it here for date night, which is usually when I wear these jeans. I do think the lighter wash leans more casually, but because I'm limited with my shoes, I still have to kind of dress them up. So kind of went a little dressier again. But this off the shoulder sweater is from Dynamite. I love the light pink color. I actually may just keep this on because we have a little date night tonight. First we're going car shopping, which I'm not really that excited about. So you can see back here, I do have a variety of washes in my wardrobe, and I do find myself leaning towards a specific wash when it comes to a certain style. So for example, flared and boot cuts, I personally like in darker washes a little bit more because I do like to dress those up with boots or heels. So that's why I lean towards the darker washes in them. If you do want to wear them more casually, then you may want to wear them with flats, and that's when you would go with a shorter inseam. When it comes to the slim straight, I do prefer a medium wash because I think that's the most classic, and I think that style just lends to a more classic silhouette in general. So I would recommend a medium wash in that style. I do have a few really light washes in denim, and I find that I prefer this style in more of a straight leg or even a little bit of a baggier fitted jean. So this jean is the Abercrombie & Fitch 90 straight, and I have tried Abercrombie jeans so many times over the years. I have really struggled with all of their styles and their washes and Curve Love versus regular, but after trying so many of their jeans, I have found that this fits me the best. So this is the mid-rise, which is key because I have a very short torso. I absolutely cannot do their ultra high rise. It is in my rib cage. The fit is just not right. It's not proportionate and it just looks horrible on me. So the mid-rise is where it's at for me. And then I actually prefer the Curve Love. And the reason I like that fit is because I can size down in the waist and it doesn't fit me too tight in the booty or the hips. I always say booty, I don't know why. So my little sizing tip for you, if you've also struggled with Abercrombie jeans, I would say they are true to size, but if you find them to fit too tight in your butt, I would go with the Curve Love and size down in them. So because this jean fits me a little bit baggier through the thighs, it's more of a relaxed fit. I do like the lighter wash because that leans more casual. I also feel like that's the trendier way to go right now. And the reason I have the light wash in these is because I prefer the other washes in the other styles. So that's kind of why I went with the light wash. Abercrombie has so many different washes in their jeans as well. They have a lot of distressing. They have some funky like buttons where they are wrapped differently. But these are just the classic, no distressing, not a ton. There's a little bit of like texture at the bottom, but they do actually have that seam. And I just have really kind of leaned away from a lot of distressing in my jeans. Here is the Curve Love jean from Abercrombie. I'm wearing a size 27, and these are the jeans I reach for just for casual on the go. So I don't really style these, like I never style them kind of dressed up. I know you can, but this is kind of exactly how I like to wear them. Just casual run on the go. Like I would wear a sweatshirt with this jean. So I just threw on a little holiday sweater. This comes in 4 colors. It is 16, 17 bucks if it's still in stock. I have a feeling these are going to go very quickly, and I know I've already shared them a few times, but I'm wearing a size small, and then I just paired it with some Uggs. These work really well with this Ugg style. They aren't too bunchy on the bottom, but they do come down low enough to where it's not awkward. Like I don't think this would look good with a more cropped jean like this, because then it's really giving like camel hooves, if you know what I mean. The one thing I'll say about these compared to the other jeans that I've shared, the pockets on these are a little bit smaller and a little bit higher. They're not too high, but they're not my favorite compared to the fit on the last few jeans. Like I just think the pockets on those were perfect. When the pocket is placed a little bit higher though, it does give a little bit of a lifted booty effect though. So I think some people will love that. I'm not saying these are too high. Some of them are like up your back, but they're definitely higher. Like you can kind of see, I don't know, this is up close and personal, but You can definitely see how much higher they are placed. Okay, we've all stared at my butt long enough. So these hit right below my belly button, which is really comfortable with a shorter torso. And like I said, I'm doing the 27 curve love. When I wear a 27 regular at Abercrombie, it's way too tight, especially in the butt area. I find that their jeans run a little bit smaller, and I'm usually more of a true 28, even though most of the jeans I've shared have been 27s. The next style of jean is the Dynamite Heidi jean. These are the newest jean to my wardrobe. Actually, I haven't worn them out of my house yet, but I have been styling these a lot with different outfits in some of my recent videos, and I have really been loving this silhouette. I love the wash of these jeans. They are a little bit darker. I would say it's still a medium wash, but you can see the difference here. This is a little bit of a lighter medium wash. This is a darker medium wash, so I do think these can be dressed up a little bit more, but that's a good thing because these run really long, so I cannot wear these with flats. I personally do not like the look of like puddled jeans at the bottom. That is very on trend with the younger generations right now, but I just find it looks very unkept. I don't feel like myself. So personally, I don't like the puddling on the bottom. So because I do have to wear them with taller boots or booties, I like the slightly darker wash in these. Okay, next up is this cute ruffled Peter Pan collar sweater. It has functional buttons. I'm wearing a small. I love where it hits at the waist. I wouldn't say it's cropped. It is a slightly shorter fit, slightly boxy fit as well, which is my personal favorite when it comes to sweaters. It does have really long arms. Just wanted to mention that in case you are taller and you need some extra length. These definitely run a little bit longer. Paired it with these Heidi jeans, which I have been loving. I'm wearing a size 4 in these. They are long. I had to wear them with a like higher booty. These are a 3.5-inch heel. This adorable bow sweater. This one's from Amazon, so it is affordable and it's really soft, good quality. It's a little bit thicker, so it will keep you warm. I love that the bows are stitched, so you're not gonna have to worry about tying them perfectly. It does have functional buttons. Of course, it comes in multiple color options. I went with this cool tone brown, but you could definitely grab like a festive color for the holidays if you want to. I just stuck with a neutral, and then I paired it with these jeans, which I have been loving. They're a little bit more wide leg. This is the Heidi jean. I'm wearing a size 4. They are so flattering. I also really love this wash. The only downside to them is they are long, so I do have to wear them with a taller boot, but generally I like to wear a little bit of a heel. I was worried that these were going to be way too tight, 'cause sometimes 4s just can be uncomfortable to sit in, but even though these have a really close fit, they are still comfortable enough to sit in. They have just enough stretch to them, but they look like a true like straight leg denim. They also have great pocket placement. They're not too high, which I find is often the case, especially with a higher rise jean like this. And they still have a really good fit on the butt. Even though they have a relaxed fit through the leg, they're not bunchy. I don't find that I get lost in them. They have that roomy fit while still being ultra flattering. Also, if you're curious, I just blew out my hair this morning with my Dyson Airwrap. This is what it looks like, freshly washed. I used the bigger barrel. I'm sure I can find it on sale for Cyber Week, and it is truly one of my favorite hair tools. I got mine back in 2020 and I have zero regrets. So we are heading out for dinner and I am wearing these jeans, so I thought I could show you a very realistic outfit today. We are heading to dinner. We're gonna probably run by a park that's like right by where we're going, so I'm dressed pretty casually. These jeans are from Spanx and they're very similar to the Mother denim, so if you don't want to spend the full price on Mother denim, or if you want something that doesn't have the raw hemline, these have a clean hem on the bottom, but I would style them the exact same way, so that's why I'm kind of throwing them into this video. I'm wearing a size small, very comfortable. These don't have as much compression as like the leggings, and they are comfortable enough to sit in. Great fit through the booty. I just have on a sleeveless turtleneck and then a cozy sweater over top. I believe Jenny Kane started their Black Friday sale. I think the best they do is 25% off from what I remember in years past, but I will reference my blog post just to double check. But there is also a very similar option that I will link as well, depending on your budget. And then I just paired it with my favorite go-to white sneakers. These are truly the best for like a classic white sneaker that doesn't feel like an athletic sneaker.